everything that Andrew and David were talking about how we're called to be these missionaries. Man, that's what we're training up is people that just love the glory of God and want to get his glory to the nations. Man, is that what we're doing? Instead, it just feels like we're trying to collect people rather than send them out. Man, and I remember as a new pastor, I went to like a church growth thing, and the pastor up front was talking about their Christmas musical and how they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and 4 to 6 months of rehearsal, and he was just saying, man, people from the church would come and rehearse about six hours a week for like 4 months straight. I mean, they were committed, and then when we had this musical, man, we had all these visitors come, and man, that's great stuff. But I went up to him after, and I was a new pastor at the time, so I'm like, hey, just a question, like those guys that came to the church building for like 4 or 6 hours a week and for 4 to 6 months, like if they just stayed in their neighborhood and talked to their neighbors and invited them to dinner and told them about Jesus, wouldn't that have accomplished a lot more and wouldn't it have been free? And I seriously asked that, And the pastor looked at me, he goes, well, of course, but people aren't willing to do that. And I go, oh yeah, that's true. I mean, that's what I said. I said, yeah, that's true. People aren't going to go and tell people about Jesus, but they will dress up like reindeer and sing, way in the manger. So let's do that instead. And that was my mindset, and I think that's where the church went wrong. No, instead we should look at those people and no, you've got the Spirit of God. He promises that you will receive power when the Holy Spirit falls upon you, and you will be his witnesses. That you're called, it's everything we're talking about, you're called to make these disciples. Man, and for that reason, it's like, man, ever since youth group, it's like, great, bring your friends. Let the youth pastor speak to them. Bring your friends to this event at our college campus, and we're going to bring in a speaker. Bring your friends to the Sunday service. And pretty soon we have a generation of people who don't know how to share the gospel. Man, we have a generation where the thought of like looking at your neighbor and having a conversation, looking another human being in the eyes and telling them the way to escape the horrors of what David was talking about and the way to know Jesus, to be able to share the most important thing in your life. I mean, how many people who gather on a Sunday, what percentage do you think actually share the gospel that week? Or that year?